Welcome to Apaga University. I'm Inga.
And I'm Julie. We are two
momtrepreneurs
who have built an in-home care business from the ground up, guided every step of the way by God's care and fueled by agape love.
16 years later and over 100 podcast episodes already under our belts, we invite you to continue on this journey with us as we share stories that resonate, insights that inspire, and practical guidance that empowers you to face any obstacle along this path.
Whether you're a professional caregiver, a family member, or are simply curious about what your steps will be when you need them, you have come to the right place.
Oh, hey, and while you're here, make sure you hit that subscribe button.
And after that, make sure you send this to a friend.
Yes, do it. All right, we'll quit fooling around and get to it.
Let's go. Class is in session.
Hello, Sunshine, and hello, Julie.
Well, hello, Inga.
How is ya?
I am well.
Nice.
Yeah.
I could use a little sunshine.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Same.
You know, we were cleaning the barn over the weekend, and the sun shined on us all weekend long.
Wow.
It was amazing.
Wow, that's awesome.
It's colder than cold, but with the sun, it didn't feel like it.
But with the sun, you feel better.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. It's amazing how it just changes it.
Yeah. You want to hear my sunshine story now that you brought it
absolutely
up?
do.
And this is TMI. So,
oh boy,
sorry
maybe
everybody, but here we go. So, had some blood work done and realized that I'm actually quite low on vitamin D.
Mm-hmm.
So, they give me some stupid pills to take because low on vitamin D means that for your bone health and your immunity. So every Friday night, because I got the meds on Fridays, I take one pill a week for 8 weeks, like 50,000 units.
And it's like the big green one, huh?
No, it's actually a cute little black one.
What the heck?
Nope, no horse pills for me.
Okay, finish your story.
Though, when you take a medication, there may be side effects to said.
What color is your pee?
Well, no, it ain't that. I haven't been able to poop for a while. I'm really upset about it. So anyway.
Well, you did have that stomach ache yesterday. Did that fix you right up?
Well, now I'm caught up on that situation, but I hadn't even thought about it, except I'm drinking way more water because I'm trying to really keep hydrated. And
it's hard work being healthy.
This is hard. But anyway, so I'm drinking all this water and then I'm thinking, wait a minute, I'm missing something. And so, you can't have a good start to the day without a good start to the day. So,
oh my God.
Anyway, I was randomly reading something and it said, and it must have been my stupid phone listening to me, because this article came up about how vitamin D makes you constipated. And it was like I had an epiphany. I was like, oh my gosh. And I've only taken 2 of these pills. I got 6 more weeks of this misery.
Oh my God. I don't know what just happened.
I don't either.
I'm just mad about the fact that you got a little tiny black pill. When I had to do that, it was a giant green, ridiculously. Yeah.
So, but did it cause you not to poop?
I have this really great thing where my memory does not allow me to hang on to things that are unpleasant. So if I didn't poop, I don't remember it.
Well, I'm just in the situation as we speak. So that's why it's top of mind.
Okay. So if you're a little harder to deal with, it might be, need a little prune juice or something.
A little shitty attitude.
Oh my God.
Okay.
I don't know that I will ever recover from these podcasts with you. So anywho,
where were we?
Well, we were just enjoying the sunshine.
About the sunshine. And I was saying, well, my little piece of sunshine is in a little baby black pill for 8 weeks.
Oof, duh. All right, then. There's no good way to segue from this. So today I'm going to share with you.
I haven't even dared look at Alyssa because I'm sure she just is ashamed. Oh, yeah. No, I'm getting the eyeball.
Oh, my God.
Look at her. Okay. I mean, look at her.
She is scarred. Okay.
Now, from that to our Bible verse for the day.
Romans chapter 8, verse 28. And we know that in all things, God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose.
Yes.
Love your God.
Yes.
And be a good and faithful servant.
Yes. I'm sorry.
And stop starting the podcast with poop stories. I don't know what to do.
Oh, I did put a disclaimer in there on TMI.
All right,
So
get it
we're
together,
okay.
Julie. Oh, geez. What did you bring for an inspiration or a good news story or?
Well, this is funny. It's about a little pig.
Oh,
yeah.
perfect.
Pet pig lights up Kansas City old folks home with cuddly demeanor and love for cereal.
Oh,
Yeah.
cereal.
But they won't like him if he poops on the the carpet. Then we got a big problem.
Oh, yeah. Pig poop is the worst
The worst
of the livestock poop.
Yes. So basically, a maintenance worker at the care home has begun bringing his pet pig to work. Bring your kid to work day, I guess. And putting smiles on the faces of many of the residents. So his kids bought him a pig, a pet house pig the size of a tennis ball tube 10 years ago. After that pig passed away, Martin was smitten. He went to a licensed breeder of Juliana pigs, one of the smallest pet pig breeds, for a new family member. Then he asked the nursing home's administrator, who was kind of hesitant at first, if he could bring a pig in, even though they did say that Odin, the pig, is as gentle as a lamb.
Oh.
So I gave him some Captain Crunch cereal and he really seemed to enjoy it, said one of the residents. I've never fed a pig before and I've never pitted one before, but he loved it and he gave me a good oink.
Oh.
And then the owner of Odin did say that many of the residents actually had come from farms. And so that was very sweet for them to get to take some unexpected trips down memory lane.
Oh.
And there are times like our 4-H club
Yeah.
takes, or some of them take, like during Easter when there's new babies, we'll take baby lambs and calves and bunnies.
Goats.
Yep.
Yep.
And that's always a very cute thing. But they have a picture of Odin, and Odin is probably 70 pounds at this
Oh,
point.
70. Okay.
Yeah. So, and he's on a little harness, so I guess that makes it okay. Emotional support animals.
Hey, takes all kinds of kinds.
Oh, all the kinds.
All right. Well, I am sharing with you daily wisdom today.
there
So
you
from
go.
my daily wisdom book. And the cool thing about this book is it does not matter where I flip to in this book, it always hits.
Nice.
So today we're just going to talk about the page that says give generously. A candle loses nothing when it lights another candle. That was Thomas Jefferson. Being generous is the foundation of great teamwork. However, most people don't live their lives like the Thomas Jefferson quote above is true. Most people believe that if we give something, we inevitably lose something, but the opposite is true. When a candle lights another candle, not only does it lose nothing, but the room also gets a little brighter. Have the mindset that there is always enough to go around. Give generously. If you have an idea, share it. If you find a solution, share it. If you can help someone, help them. Be generous with your time, money, talents, and ideas. Hoarders live small lives, and you were not put on this earth to live a small life. If you want to be a great leader, give generously. You will lose nothing, and you will gain so much more than you could have hoped for.
That is so true. And what do they call that? The generosity mindset? It's huge. And it's a thing.
Every person that we have ever worked with from in like a professional capacity has always said that. Give generously.
Yeah.
Be generous.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and it will come back to you.
It does, because just even I immediately brings up the thought of tithing at church, or, you know, the kids were doing cookie baskets for the youth group. And, you know, if you're able to lay down a 10 or a 20, you don't even really miss that if you're giving with the right mindset. You know, it's a big deal.
And the thing is it doesn't always have to be monetary.
Right.
Right. So
Right.
there's a lot of things you can give of
Yeah.
yourself. And but
I
it's
love
true.
that. So good. It's always a wonderful reminder.
Yes, indeedy.
Love it.
All right. Well, I should have saved my booger comment from last week for this week because we are going to be talking about, you know, it's that time of year when colds and flus are hovering about.
So remind me the booger comment.
Oh, hanging in there like a foot-long booger.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, because we're going to be talking about the sniffles today.
And kind of some ideas on what you can do to help, and if there are medications that might be appropriate for the cold versus the flu, and
should you stay home? Should you go to work? That's always a big deal.
Do you have a fever?
Do you have a fever? Yes.
Yeah.
So,
well, especially in our line of work too, because basically we're helping people that are already a little bit more vulnerable, and so we do not in any way want to take a cootie into a home. Right. Now, that being said, cooties are everywhere. So
yes,
they're just, and it's hard to avoid them always in every way.
It's so funny because when you get the crud or you get something, you're like, where did I get this from?
Who gave this to me?
Yeah, I had a tummy ache last night, like you so generously told everyone. And it's your fault. And I immediately was like, okay, where'd I get this tummy ache? Did I get it from the ranch dressing? Did I get it from the week-old spaghetti that was so delicious? Whatever caused my
What is the shelf life on spaghetti in the refrigerator?
Probably about 3 days. It was good, though.
Wonder why you had a stomach ache.
Okay, managing colds.
Yes.
The common cold. We're just going to say that. The common cold has no cure but should improve on its own. However, being the people we are, how many billions do we spend on Dayquil, NyQuil, Vicks VapoRub, all of this stuff?
Anything to ease the symptoms.
The symptoms, right? Antibiotics don't work against viruses and won't help you feel better.
That's a common thing, like a misconception I think that people have. Like, oh, I've got a cold. I got to go to the doctor and get some antibiotics for it.
Yeah.
Antibiotics will not help your common
cold. Well, and that's where the superbugs come from. We've talked about superbugs before. And that's where antibiotics, the bugs mutate after so many antibiotics. They just get bigger and meaner
because we overuse it, I think, and then the bugs become resistant to it and mutate into something.
And I mean, there are some things that doctors won't even give you antibiotics anymore, like an earache. Very often they won't give you anything for even that,
right?
But the problem is like, and what we're going to talk about here just for a sec is ever since the pandemic, you can't just have a stupid cold,
right?
Everybody thinks they have to get tested for the COVID.
Right.
And so, yeah, it's scary and all, but really technically,
right.
What do you got?
Right.
What do you got and how can you manage the symptoms?
Sure. And how do you keep, to the best of your ability, from spreading it to other people?
Yes. So most people with cold symptoms, runny nose, cough, sore throat, will not require specific treatment. They can take steps to manage their symptoms like we're talking about and prevent spreading the virus. One of the biggest things is wash your hands. Wash your hands.
Yes.
However, there are rare cases when a viral infection can lead to a bacterial infection like pneumonia, which does require the antibiotics.
Right. So there could be like other manifestations from your common cold, but just the common cold alone is not going to respond to that antibiotic.
Right. And if you don't need the antibiotics, you shouldn't take it like we've said. Basically, some of the worst things you can get from an antibiotic resistant bug is that MRSA, the C. diff, is a terrible thing because it becomes so incredibly contagious and that hurts your colon and just all of that. Unfortunately, most of the time it's just going to take time. One of the biggest things that I did, like just the other day, my daughter came in here and I said, oh no, you look flushed. You look like you don't feel really good. And I said, go home, get some vitamin C's in you and get to sleep. Go rest.
Yep.
And the next morning she woke up and thankfully she was feeling really good. But, whenever I start to feel anything, I'm just like, and here's the big quandary. I personally love Emergency. There's those little packets of mega doses of vitamin C. A lot of people are like, oh, those are just full of sugar, so you got to find the thing that's going to help you because half the time I think it's in my head. But if I take a emergency packet, ta-da, I feel better. So I'm going to use it.
Right. Is it like a medicine ball tea or from Starbucks? Yeah.
Oh,
Bailey swears by that.
Really?
Yep. Oh yeah. Huh. So I do think that some of it is just, in your head or psychological, but whatever helps you to feel better.
Yeah. Yeah. Then I also
want to then knock myself out, and usually that's with like NyQuil or the sleep drops that we have that we use. NyQuil though really makes me feel like I have a hell of a hangover the next day.
Yeah.
And the sleep drops don't do that. But I was just like, I just got it in my head that NyQuil is the cold and flu medicine.
Well, marketing.
Yes, it's in my head.
What's interesting is, so NyQuil would probably be similar to like Tylenol PM, but with an additional something for cold specific. But I used to take Tylenol PM a lot, and I had to stop doing it because I would wake up in the morning with such a headache and such that hangover feeling.
Yuck.
It could have been God saying like, hey, lady, slow down a little bit. You don't need to have this for the last 1,000 nights in a row.
Yeah.
Try sleeping without it. But anyway, I get that. Some of those do leave you the next day feeling a little bit worse. I've heard people say that they struggle to even wake up after they've taken NyQuil.
Yeah. So it's one of those damned if you do, damned if you don't things. But also mentally, it's like, I slept really hard.
Yeah.
I should be getting better.
And a lot of times I think that getting that good deep sleep helps with the healing process.
Yeah. But everybody's got to find their magic, whatever that is.
I love the TheraFlu that you actually make into a drink.
Ew.
I know. Bailey, Kevin, they think it's so gross. But for me, when I have a cold, that's like the most effective for me.
Yeah. Alka-Seltzer.
Yeah, I can't do that.
Can't do it, but they've got to.
People swear by it, though.
People swear by it. I just can't. I think I tried it once, and like the fizzles literally went out my nose, and I was damaged forever now. Sorry,
never going to try Alka-Seltzer again.
Yeah, no. So over-the-counter medicines, pain relievers, fever reducers. These can lessen symptoms and help you feel better. Be sure to mention any other OTC medicines you're taking. They only provide temporary relief and will not cure your illness. So the other thing is we have all come to work before with the crud. And when it's really obvious, we're just like, shut your damn door if you think you're going to stay here. Otherwise, go home and take your cooties with you.
Yes.
I've got so much to do. I can't. I just won't answer the phone because when you get that scratchy voice, everybody's like, oh my God, are you sick?
Yeah.
Like, no. And I always fib. Oh no, it sounds worse than it is.
Just got a frog in my throat.
Yes.
Guilty.
Oh, because it's some of it's mental. Oh, like Mike, he is the biggest baby there is. Oh, you got a cold. Get away from me. I'm going to get it. And he just walks like this besides me. And I'm like, dude, it's in the air. If you're going to get it, you're already exposed.
Yeah.
But yeah. So anyway, okay. Adults. The overtime children. Just remember that an age matters on the medications that you give somebody.
Yes.
So you probably shouldn't give the adult amount of NyQuil to a little guy that you yourself would take. That's a really bad idea.
Yeah, they might sleep a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Probably not good on their livers or kidneys,
Correct
right?
Dose and read all of the directions. But overall, get plenty of rest, drink plenty of fluids, humidifiers and cool mist. But also something that always helps me, and I just remember my mother, it was one of the things, was the Vapor Rub.
Vicks, yeah.
Yep, on your chest. And then I like to put mine under my nose too, because for at least 2 inhales, I can breathe.
It's funny because I think that there are, for as many good stories, they're like, oh, you got to use this. This is what my mom used in childhood. There are people that are like, oh my God, get away from me with that stuff. My mom slathered it all over me.
Yeah. No, there's things like for a fever, you got to put that stuff on your feet and then put on socks. And
do you remember our friends? Well, so we have friends, I'll just say Mandy and Charlie.
Yes.
And anyway, Mandy was really into like homeopathic type things. And Charlie, her son, when he started working for us, I don't know, maybe he had a cold or something we were talking about. And he's like, you have no idea what I was subjected to as a child. Like, frozen socks to draw out the cold.
Oh my goodness.
Which we just laugh because Mandy is amazing. And so much of what she does is very, very effective.
It's her birthday today.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I love her so much. But yeah, it was just funny to hear the son like, oh God, the things I went through. I've even tried the like onions on the bottom of your feet.
Oh, you
have heard that one? Yeah, it didn't do anything except for make me smell like an onion. But Anyway, to each their own. You gave me that really, really cool book.
Yeah. And Santa gave me the same book. Can you believe it?
Dude,
That
Santa's
guy.
what a guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's the newest thing out on the market on homeopathic, different kinds of.
Like how to make your own tinctures and.
Yeah. And I just look at it and I'm like, because I don't follow recipes good,
Right.
even on a good day for cooking food. So when they're telling me I want a little bit of hazel witch and a toad's toenail and I just can't.
I don't see, and I'm the opposite. I'm like, okay, it would cost me, $10 to do this, or I can pay $100 a month to get the supplement off of TikTok for the same thing.
Yeah.
And I'll probably never do either, but
Right. There's lots of options out there. And then there's people that take those rubber suction bulbs for babies to
we use
out
those
the
with
boogers.
We use those with the lambs when lambs are born to suction out their mouths and their noses. And
Breathe in
that would be
steam
awful as a human, though.
from a bowl of hot water or shower. Use throat lozenges if you can find
Lozenges?
What are they?
Lozenges.
Oh yeah, same thing. We're talking about the same thing. Cough drops.
Better.
But don't give lozenges to children.
I can't tell if you're doing it on purpose.
No, that's how you say it.
How do you say it?
Do not give lozenges to children younger than 4 years old, because then you're going to have bigger problems. Use honey. My mom when I used to get coughing at night, mother would come upstairs and bring in the gallon of honey, dip the old tablespoon in there and throw it down my throat.
Honey. I thought you were going to say brandy. Wasn't
honey.
that a thing back in the day?
Oh, it still is. My Patsy swears by it.
Yeah.
For multiple ailments.
Guaranteed to cure.
And makes childbirth a pleasure. She said it the other day when I saw her. I have to remember it.
Okay.
And then, but babies younger than 1 should not be given honey.
Oh,
see, we could go down all kinds of rabbit holes with this.
Only listen to a portion of what we say and then do your own research.
When to seek medical care: trouble breathing or fast breathing, dehydration, fever that lasts longer than 4 days, symptoms that last more than 10 days without getting better, fever or cough that improves and then returns and is worse, and just chronic medical conditions that go worse. It can be very serious. I'm being very light about everything, but really, truly, as always, know your body and know what you're going to have to do. Yeah.
Well, and then basically we have 2 things, colds and flus. Right. And those usually kind of happen around about the same
The cold and flu season.
Yes. And they are different. So influenza or the flu and the common cold are both contagious respiratory illnesses, but they are caused by different viruses. Flu is caused by influenza viruses only, whereas the common cold can be caused by a number of different viruses. So rhinoviruses, parainfluenza, seasonal coronaviruses, just all kinds of yucky things can cause the common cold. Key differences, well, basically, because colds and flus share many symptoms, it can be difficult or sometimes even impossible to tell the difference between them based on the symptoms, but special tests can tell if a person has the flu. The signs and symptoms of the flu can include fever, feeling feverish or chills, cough, sore throat, runny or stuffy nose, muscle or body aches, headaches, fatigue. Cold symptoms are usually milder than the symptoms of the flu, and people with colds are more likely to have runny or stuffy noses. Colds generally do not result in serious health problems. So for me, the flu always is more of like a body ache where I feel like I've been hit by a truck. Yep. And it's, for me anyway, usually is faster, like a 24-hour flu, or you have one day where you're just, colds are more annoying and they last longer. And a lot of my common cold stuff is more like in my head with the sinus and the runny nose and stuffiness. Yeah. Or in the chest.
Yeah. It's that quandary. Am I sick enough to stay home or am I being
a baby? But I've found over the years that when I have the flu, it's really not optional for me. Like I'm usually pretty much on my lips that no, this isn't going to work. A cold I can generally power through, which is probably what they're saying, like milder symptoms.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember one time I called in and you were like, dude, you really are sick because you never call in.
You don't.
But I remember that day I was dead. I died.
I remember that day too.
I just didn't move at all. And actually at one point I finally limped into urgent care because I was that sick because I won't go to a doctor unless I think I'm dead.
Yes.
And he was like, oh, well, it turns out you've got both of the flu viruses going around right now.
A and B?
Yeah. So both of them. Oof. So it was a lot of money to be told that I should have just stayed in bed because, but anyway. Double whammy.
Paid a lot for confirmation of what you knew you already knew.
Yes.
But could do nothing about. Except for stay in bed.
So I stayed in bed
that
for
was a
while.
Nasty flu year.
Yeah.
That was bad.
Yeah.
I think that year I went at one point too and it was like more invasive than the COVID up the nose test. I remember feeling like they took that swab into my brain, down my spine. It was the worst thing. And I was like fighting, like just my natural instinct was trying to push them away and not
out of me.
I'm like, things don't go up my nose. It's not supposed to be that way.
Please don't.
So I will not go back to the doctor for a cold or flu.
Tickle my
for
brain
that reason
with a
because
cotton
I'm like,
swab.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Forget it.
It was very not enjoyable.
Yucky.
Yeah,
makes my nose hurt just thinking about it.
Yeah, it was my brain and my. Oh, I don't even know. Because I remember asking you, like, how did you handle this test?
Yeah.
You're just tougher than me. Or you were feeling worse than I was. Couldn't fight it.
Numb. Yeah.
Anyway. All right. Well, so basically, I think next is just talking a little bit about some guidelines or recommendations on how to choose the best cold and flu medicine based on your symptoms.
Yeah.
And remembering that, like we've said, there's not necessarily going to be antibiotics that you're going to be prescribed. So a lot of this stuff is going to be over the counter.
And they don't cure you.
Correct.
They absolutely help the symptom.
Yeah. Managing your symptoms. Yeah. That's, making it more tolerable, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah. So I thought we would just maybe go to the chart and talk about the symptom and then the active ingredients and kind of the onset of it.
Right.
So basically, if you have a symptom of fever and aches, acetaminophen, which would be like Tylenol, correct? So acetaminophen would be the active ingredient. And then it looks like about 20 to 45 minutes is when you would start to feel some sort of onset of relief from it. Ibuprofen, that's kind of like Advil would be your like brand name, right? That's a 30 to 60 minute onset. And then aspirin, which I say there's no school like the old school because aspirin's just the OG, right?
Yeah.
15 minutes.
Okay.
My challenge with aspirin is it hurts my stomach.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But it usually cures everything else. Mm-hmm. So I have to decide.
Yeah. You want a tummy ache?
Is the tummy ache worth? Yeah. Okay. So it's good to know that for these things, there are multiple dosage forms. So like pills, liquids, even a suppository if you're in the market.
Oh boy.
Oh no. They do say to avoid aspirin if you're 19 years or under. And then always, always, always stay within the recommended maximum daily dosage because your body can only handle so much processing of these medicines.
Yeah. Like what I was going to say about vitamin C, the little packets. I will like take 2 and I don't remember if that's like 4,000 units or whatever. But with vitamin C, it will just release whatever it's not going to use.
Your body just gets rid
basically,
of it, right?
A lot of people are saying you're just in it. It's coming right out. But in my head, it's the magic. So
yeah, hey,
yeah,
whatever works. It's mind over matter,
and it
in
comes
a lot of
in
ways.
all kinds of flavors. Just don't give me the lime. That's disgusting.
Okay, so Julie, I saved coughing for you because I feel as though you are going to be the most prepared to pronounce these words.
As I always am. Okay, coughing. This kicks in about 15 to 30 minutes, and it is called dextromethorphan. And then there's the one that hits you about 30 minutes, and it's a guaifenesin.
Alyssa, care to weigh in? No? I think that makes me think of like the Mucinex commercials of the gross little boogery guys. Yeah.
They work for some people, not for everyone. The one with the D word is for dry cough, and then G is for the wet cough.
Mm-hmm.
Ew.
Okay, so congestion, pseudoephedrine, and then they like nasal sprays.
Yeah, I hate those.
And different kinds. There's one that starts with a P and one that starts with an oxy. Basically, pseudoephedrine is like I think it's one of those that they keep behind the counter at the pharmacy because isn't it like Sudafed? I remember as a child hearing the name Sudafed for
people probably crush it and snort it and get high.
With everything.
Yeah.
Like there was a time where you couldn't even buy like iodine for our farm animals because people were misusing it.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Sudafed and then the nasal sprays. But you are not supposed to use nasal sprays for more than 3 days. Yeah. I hear that people get addicted to these things.
My husband is.
Yeah.
He needs that surgery where they go up and they literally take a sharp thing and cut your little muscle thingies so that you've got more airway.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody that's ever had it swears by it.
Right.
That, especially guys that like work in the woods or somebody that's got anatomy where they've got a tight nasal passage for whatever reason. It's just they go up, make a slice, and they've got a bloody nose for a while, and then they can breathe again. And he needs to get that done. But one of our friends that had it done, he worked in the woods like Mike did for years and years, and just the sawdust and the dry and all of that, it just never helped. He got that surgery and swears by it. He's like, I can breathe again. I didn't realize how bad I couldn't even breathe.
Yeah.
And Mike, though, just keeps using that stuff.
Like Afrin or something like that?
Yeah. And I'm just like, dude, someday you're just going to drop dead. And I'll just say, well, it was because of the 15,000 bottles of Afrin. But he's also to the point that before we go somewhere, I'll go, do you have your cell phone? Do you have your wallet? Do you have your nose spray? Because he will get almost panicky if he thinks he's starting to get stuffed up, because he literally gets to the point that it's like he can't breathe because he closes up. I mean, and I don't know how much of that is psychological versus the real deal, which it's years of him just not.
Well, now his body's like, hello, sir.
Yeah.
Where's the spray?
But meanwhile, it's, I believe it's doing the opposite.
Yeah,
but he won't listen to me.
I agree.
What do you do?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's terrible.
Yeah.
It's terrible. And it's expensive.
Yeah. So for runny noses, you can use like antihistamines. So basically an antihistamine usually takes about 15 to 30 minutes to start. First generation antihistamines are often included in nighttime cold and flu products. They do cause drowsiness. Non-drowsy antihistamines such as Lortidine won't help your cold and flu symptoms.
So something I was going to say is when you buy the stuff and then when you take the stuff, make sure that you're getting the AMs and the PMs.
Yes.
Because whoever confuse. In all of their marketing genius, like the Tylenols, they'll have the orange and blue box, meaning that half are for day, half are for night. And you're like, oh, great. But Garrett had a really bad cold a couple of weeks ago. And so he was popping these pills so he could go to work. And he couldn't understand why he was so dang tired until like into the third day. He's like, oh my gosh, I've been taking the nighttime ones in the morning. Because by noon he was dead.
Yeah.
He was drowsy. And I'm always worried about that because, if you're all stuffed up and you want to take an antihistamine like you were talking about, I'm always looking, does this cause drowsiness?
Yep.
Because I am a busy person and I don't have time for that.
Yeah.
I have enough of the natural 3 o'clock dry gas.
Don't need any help from Benadryl.
Yes.
Something to keep in consideration when you're doing this, a lot of, so you've got your name brand.
Yep.
And then you've got like your generics or your store brand.
Yep.
But the active ingredients in those are the same oftentimes. And you can look at them and compare.
The same.
And so I have found that I'm not a name brand snob when it comes to cold and flu medicine because
it's expensive.
Yeah.
It's dumb. I mean, even the ibuprofen, the name brand will have the big pretty box, and then next to it will be the little tiny thing, but it's less than half of the cost.
I was so mad the other day. I went to order Excedrin. Normally I just get the Walmart brand of it. Well, they were out of stock. So I was looking at Excedrin for, I think it was like 300 tablets, almost $30.
Holy cow.
I feel like that's highway robbery.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
what?
Yeah. No, it is. Big pharma, I guess, is how you put that.
I don't know.
Because the other would have been what, $6?
Yeah. Less probably.
Yeah.
Well, maybe.
Yeah. My story is, and I won't go back ever, is to this one chain store because I went to buy NyQuil and they carded me. And it made me so mad. I just put it away and walked out. I'm not sure why, because I obviously must have needed it. But I was so pissed off that I will not go back to that store.
Because they carded you for NyQuil?
They carded me, and I was in a hurry. I was very important, very busy that day. And they wanted to card me, and all I wanted was my NyQuil.
Yeah.
And I had stopped there, drove there, stopped there, got out, went and picked it up. It was an effort.
Yeah.
And I must not have already been feeling very well.
Yes.
But I still have never gone back to that store.
Well, you're really showing them. Good for you.
They're still in
Atta
business.
girl.
Yeah. It's all about the
I'm
pencil.
usually mad when they don't card me for alcohol. Like throw an old lady a
Where
bone.
the heck was I? The other day, we went somewhere. Oh, Olive Garden. And I decided, well, this is kind of a special day, so I'm going to have a peach Bellini. Callie had a peach Bellini too, and she had to run out and get her driver's license, but she's 23.
Right.
I could understand them carding her. Well, then they carded me, and I acted like, woohoo, yeah.
I know.
I got carded. And
You want to know what was somewhat humiliating?
what?
Being on Broadway downtown in Nashville. And, they have to card everybody that comes through the door. You hold your thing out. They don't even look at it and just wave you through. Going through the formality here, lady.
Yeah. Just keep
That's
walking.
funny.
Just keep
But
going.
I am glad that you got carded because it's a big
I was
deal.
very happy about it.
It's a very big deal.
Yes.
Yeah.
Made me feel young.
Yeah. Anywho.
Oh boy. Generics, like I said, they save you money. And you just do. You have to literally put the boxes by each other.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the times they're the very, very same thing.
Right. Something else I've noticed about cold medicine is that, like, if you don't have all the symptoms, there are different versions, I guess,
Yeah.
So some of them that have that for congestion, but not every pill for cold medicine has the congestion stuff. And so just pay attention to that and like pay attention to what you're
Try
experiencing.
to get as close as you can to what you think you have.
Yep.
Yep. So,
And then don't overdo it. Stick within what it says.
yeah.
If one is good, two is not necessarily better.
Yes, for sure. For sure. And you should know if there's some medicines you're not supposed to take if you're taking your regular medicines.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where you have to just use your head.
Yeah. Ask your doctor if you need to.
Yeah. Yeah. And the pharmacist. Pharmacist
Oh,
is
yeah,
a
yeah,
good,
they're great.
Good
That's
reference.
even better because that's the one that you would probably have more accessibility
to.
Yeah.
Much
Cool.
faster.
All right. What are you leaving us with?
Well, this is one of those reels, and it's about the origin of some of the words.
Old phrases we still use today and where they originated from. In the 19th century, getting stuck in a sticky situation was like being trapped in jam. It's a perfect metaphor for trouble you can't easily escape. That's how we got the phrase, in a jam. In the 1900s, shoplifting was cheekily called a 5-finger discount. The idea? You're using your 5 fingers to take something without paying. A fun way to describe stealing, but not so fun for the shopkeeper. During tough times, soldiers would hide their fear with a calm face to keep spirits high. They'd mask their worries to inspire others. That's how we got the phrase, put on a brave face. Back when society had strict class systems, moving from a lower to a higher position was a big deal. If you succeeded, you moved up in the world. It's all about climbing that social ladder.
So
Wow.
there we go.
Good ones. Put on a brave face.
That's that for this session.
I'm going to put on a brave face and go work on insurance billing.
Ooh, gross.
All right. Peace out, Girl Scouts.
Have a good day.
The caregiven name is a registered trademark of the Veritrust Health Incorporated Company. IPAGA is not connected to, affiliated with, or endorsed by Veritrust or any of its affiliates.